Hey everyone, this is Brandon from Magic Land Vacation, the travel planning genies, and today I have another video testimonial for you. This time it's with the Arnold family, and I love the Arnold family so much because they're not just a family, they're more like an army. They have quite a few kids. This is Felix and Chrissy. Hi guys, how are y'all doing today?
Doing good.
So before we start geeking out about Disney together, why don't you guys just talk a little bit about what you guys do and your family?
Okay, well, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool children. We have 4 of them. Logan is 11, Claire is 9, Joseph is 4, and Connor's 3. So really we're only homeschooling 2. But that's my job, is to take care of and teach our wonderful little rugrats.
Yeah, and I work for an energy company and their scholarship program, and we currently live overseas.
That's amazing. I love it so much. Homeschool mom and dad working overseas. Just so much fun. And why don't you guys, this is like a crazy time. I'm doing these testimonials in the middle of the Corona crisis. So why don't you guys just tell everybody how you're doing, how you're coping, and what's that like being a homeschool mom with 4 kids?
We're doing okay. I think being a homeschool mom probably made it easier on us, to be honest, after talking to friends that had kids in school that were pulled out. You know, our routine hasn't changed a lot. So that's been okay. The biggest thing is the kids wanting to play and be with their friends, and that's just not possible right now. And our vacations being canceled hasn't been a pleasant discussion either, especially since we were coming back to the States this time, and that got kind of thrown out the window. But otherwise, I think we're managing.
Well, you're doing the best you can given the situation, right? That's what we do. And the good news is Disney World will reopen, Disney cruises will sail on. So it's just, we have to be patient and wait a little bit. But I wanted to have you guys on because both of you are, I can say, Disney geeks like me. We've helped plan several of your vacations together, but you guys are one of those families that's been to both Disney World and Disney Cruise. And going with a large family, you can offer some great insight. So why don't you just tell us why you guys love Disney World, and then we'll talk about Disney Cruise after Disney World. So tell me why you love Disney World.
It's all together. I think that's one of the things, just all Disney vacations, right? It's all in one, and there's something for every age. Legitimately, we like Disney. I mean, we honeymooned at Disney eons ago because we liked it. And then taking our kids has been so much fun to take them at different ages too, to see just the magic at different ages. But they all love it, right? There is something at Disney World legitimately for all of us, whether it's food, drinks, rides. Claire has become like this ride aficionado and loves to do rides with me. The little boys like the teacups and just spin all day with daddy because I don't do teacups. But there is something for everyone. I mean, Logan has really enjoyed all the like Star Wars stuff. That when we went, you know, you got us lined up for everything with the Star Wars, which was amazing. And they loved it. There was and is always something for everyone. And there's always something new, and there's always something to catch. You know, I mean, we watched the Disney fireworks show again that they released the other day, and it was the one that we saw when we were there. And the kids were like, oh, I didn't notice that. And then just watching Tinkerbell, I mean, it's just, there's so much magic and the kids love it. And I don't mind going and putting up with any crowds or anything. Well, maybe crowds, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. The magic of it and the ability to please every one of us. Even the hard to please daddies.
I think out of all the parks and everything we've been to, Disney World does it the best. Disneyland has their own thing, and it just seems kind of disjointed. Disneyland Paris is kind of the same way. But with Disney World, everything seems to just flow, and they've taken that extra care to make it a lot more guest-friendly, and you can just do everything and it works. Whereas at the other parks, it seems like you just have to put a little bit more effort into, you know, making the dining work and the reservations and the tickets. It's just, it makes more sense at Disney World, and for us, it just makes it easier to go. And then it makes it harder to go to the other parks because you're like, you're already doing it really great there. Why don't you just take that same model and apply it to the other parks because it already works instead of doing something different.
Yeah, I mean, and the nice thing with having you plan it is we didn't have to deal with all the chaos behind the scenes. Like that would have been done me in trying to please 7 people, because we also took my brother on that Disney World trip that you planned for us. And so that was 7 people to please, and you did an amazing job. But I do think Disney World just really does it. Like they have a good plan, and you know, with you organizing it and then just the way it flows, it works really nicely.
Yeah, even with you know, halfway through the trip, we decided, you know, this moderate resort wasn't what we wanted, so we want to go to the deluxe resort, and you know, you helped us make that happen, and it made things just run so smoothly.
Yeah.
I love that so much. It's so important that you guys get exactly what you want, right? I mean, it's your vacation, so you guys deserve to have exactly what you want because you're the ones that are creating your lifelong memories. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are big fans of the dining plan at Walt Disney World, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
We are.
And we know that that's like a discussion on the internet. There's some people that swear by it, some people who don't like it. Tell everybody for your family, why you guys do like the Disney dining plan.
Because kids eat a lot of food. Well, so they do. When we had our 4, and then we had my brother who is 14 now. He was 13 at the time, with us. And so that's a lot of kids to feed. But I think with the dining plan, you get a lot of options, and it makes it super easy. I'm not having to figure out, you know, like just what we're doing, and like it was got everything sorted, and it was great. And the other thing with the dining plan, I think, is just the variety. And for the cost, I mean, this is going to sound bad, and I think for the price, the dining plan is worth every bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't know if it's cheaper, you know, but it definitely makes things easier for us to use it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I will tell you guys that it definitely is at least about even, right? Because you're going to eat when you go to Disney World, and then depending upon where you eat and what you're buying, right, you can totally get that 10 to 15% off that Disney likes to advertise, saving with the Disney dining plan. So love Disney World. You love the dining plan. What are your favorite resorts that you guys have stayed at so far?
Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah.
So we've stayed at Caribbean Beach. We've stayed at
Port Orleans.
We've stayed at, I can't remember the one with the conference center. Coronado Springs. And we've stayed at Wilderness Lodge a couple of times, and by far Wilderness Lodge, love it. It's relaxing. It's so much fun, but I think part of it is the deluxe resorts having everything inside and in that building and everybody being there. That's one of the reasons we switched on this trip, is when we've got 4 kids and we get back from the park and it's 9:30 and they're all starving. Well, now we've got to make a trek back over to the main building to get food or different things. And so having it all in one place was really nice to just walk down, take the elevator, go in and get food, and then go right back up to the room. And so that makes a big difference. But I think we also kind of like the campy atmosphere of Wilderness Lodge. It's kind of nice.
It is. It's a
So you
different
kind of feel like,
atmosphere at Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah.
All the wood, the giant stuffed bears, and there's a lot of
Yes.
Native American artifacts and culture in there too. There's the river, I guess you could call it a river, the creek that actually goes through the lobby and then goes out. It's a really fun resort, absolutely. So I love that so much. So let's switch gears, because not only do you do Disney World, you guys have gone on a Disney cruise. And I think a lot of families, they look at Disney cruise and they look at the price, and they're looking at like other cruise lines like that are significantly cheaper. And they're like, what is the difference between Disney cruise and other cruise lines? Why don't you guys just talk about that?
I have opinions on this. Okay, so Brandon doesn't know this, but we looked at other cruise lines as options for vacations this year. And can I tell you that they're not worth the like lower price? So what we found is actually Disney does a fantastic job with dining again on the cruises, but when we looked at some of the other ones, yes, they're cheaper, but that was like this baseline, and like your food was like either a buffet or almost like a mall style food court. And I'm sitting there going, wait, but then my kids are going to see this and want to eat there, but that's not an option for us unless we pay for it, but we've already. So then when you start adding tiers and adding, well, we like to drink sodas at dinner, and we let the kids have Sprite because it's a treat on vacation. Well, then you have to add that on in these other cruise lines. But in Disney, it's already there. So the price difference is deceiving. And Disney, like, I haven't cruised any other cruise line. I don't know if I'll ever be able to after doing the Disney cruises. They do dining so well, that rotational dining and the shows and the Broadway musicals that are amazing. And you can take kids to them. How amazing is that? Like, you can take your kids. We took toddlers into them, and you know what? If halfway through your kid starts to like lose it and you have to leave, they're totally chill, like completely chill about opening that door and letting you slide out, and they're just like, have a nice night, it's okay. And you're like, it's not okay, and they're like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, what's wrong with you people? But they're amazing. Like, I have massive opinions about Disney Cruise Line, and you saved us on our first cruise because we didn't even know that you could book cruises, and we were on a cruise, and I happened to message you about something, and you were like, well, didn't you know this, and didn't you know this? And I was like, no. And you saved us so much on that first cruise of like not knowing what was going on, that the second one I was like, you have to help.
Yeah, it's kind of like Disney World. It's just, they make it so easy and effortless, and it's so child friendly, you don't have to worry about it. Whereas, some of those other cruise lines might have, it looks like fancier ships or more activities. It's not necessarily geared always toward family-oriented activities, or especially to smaller children. So if you have smaller children, Disney Cruise Line is just, it just makes it so easy because, you want to pop up to the deck and get, some ice cream at 9:00 at night, or, you want a hot dog while you sit on the deck and watch a movie, or, whatever it is. They just make it, effortless to just do everything, whether you want to go on an excursion or you want to stay in your room or drop the kids off at kids club. It's just it's so friendly. And, we did the same boat 2 years in a row, but on different cruises. And the people remembered us when we went back a year later for the cruises. Like, they remembered us in the kids club. They remembered us in the nursery. They remembered, like, the photographers remembered us. Like, everyone remembered us, and we got to be like actual friends with the people that work on the boat because they just see us so much. And so it almost feels like when you go to Disney and you see the same people, like, it feels like you're going home because, it's just that friendly atmosphere, and they go above and beyond. I remember when they went to see one of the nighttime shows, and I think it was like the variety show where they just did different Disney acts on the Magic. And Joseph, he was like 2 at the time, and he just didn't want to sit through the thing anymore. So I took him right outside into the hallway, and there's a cast member standing out there, and she's talking to us, and then he just starts talking to her, and he's like, my name's Joseph and I'm the fastest. And so she like races him down the hallway, and then comes back, and he's just like challenging all these people in the hallway to races, and they're just like paying attention to him and talking to him. And it's just like when you go to like Disney World and we come back and the kids are like walking around the store and they're just like waving at people and smiling, and they're expecting people to just say hi to them, and it takes a while to get back to reality. But just Disney just takes you all in, and it just encompasses your whole vacation, and you can just do nothing and it's just completely relaxing, or you can try to do everything that you can't do, and you can have a blast.
Those are fantastic stories. I definitely could not have said any of that better myself, and I'm so glad it comes from your own firsthand experience that you guys had on your Disney cruises. What were some of the things, if you can remember, that your kids have said they loved about the Disney cruise?
Kids club. Are you kidding me? I couldn't get our big kids out. So like sea days, legitimately would spend all day. We'd go to get them out for food, and they'd be like, no, can we just stay? They said they'd feed us. And I'm like, well, yeah. Or my birthday dinner. We were on a cruise on my birthday. It's my birthday dinner. It was Avengers Academy the last night, because you have to go both nights. And Logan's like, but it starts at 7. And I was like, Logan, there's no way. And he was like, I was like, it's my birthday. Let's have dinner and dessert. So finally, Felix is like, look, you just let him go. It will be, everybody will be happier. So our waiter said, okay, I'm going to make sure that I get all of your dinner out to you. What do you want? What dessert do you want? And then I'm going to make sure you get to kids club so mom and dad can chill and finish dinner and your siblings. And they literally would have lived in kids club if they could have. That's one of the biggest things that they have said that they really, really enjoyed on the cruise. That and getting to know the staff. So we have very social children, but they really like to get to know, they love to get to know our waiters, which, by the way, Disney, your waiter stays with you all week on your cruise, so your wait staff, and they rotate with you. So by like night 2, they know what drinks you want, they know your kids' names, and they knew that my daughter wasn't gonna eat anything but pizza or pasta. And so it was just, they loved it. They loved that they got to know these people, and these people took the time to get to know their names, who they are, things that they liked. And those were probably the 2 most things for them, was just, they loved to just escape and go to kids club and play and do all the activities and participate in Avengers Academy and things like that. It was just, that was probably their favorite part of the cruise. I don't think they remember where we went. They just remember that they went to kids club every day.
And they call it Mickey's boat. They're like, I always want to go back. They always say they want to go back to Mickey's boat because it's his boat.
I agree.
So
I want to go back to Mickey's boat too.
Yes.
Yeah. But like they do such a good job that the kids feel like they're, very comfortable with them, and they feel like they're, part of the family. So you want to return the favor to them. So we went on 2 European cruises, and the first time, like we said, we didn't really know what we're doing, but the second time, it's at the end of the summer, these people have been on the boat, in Europe, most of them away from home because they're either from North America or, the Americas somewhere. Very few of them are from Europe. And so, like, you can tell they're feeling homesick, and a lot of them don't have a lot of free time to get away from, the kids club or anything. So we just asked them, what do you like? What are you missing? What do you need? And I think we were somewhere in Norway, and I went into the store, and we found a grocery store, and we just bought like a bunch of snacks for them, like candy and chips and drinks and stuff. And then we went someone said, we haven't had McDonald's in like forever. So we could really use like a cheeseburger or some nuggets or something. So I went to McDonald's and bought like all these cheeseburgers and nuggets and everything. And as a guest, you can just bring that stuff back on the boat.
They can't, but you can.
Yeah, so we just went, and I don't even know how I carried all this stuff. I was like, my arms were full of like McDonald's and the groceries from like multiple bags of like just snacks, and we just bring it into the kids club, and we just like set it down and said, okay, y'all have fun. And they're like looking at us like we're crazy, and then they had a blast, and like ever since then they just always said
everybody
thank you.
remembered you guys. You guys are giving them free McDonald's cheeseburgers in the middle of your cruise.
We kind of felt like they had 4 of our children for a good while, and so the girls in the nursery that were on our first cruise were in the second cruise. We walked in, and I won't say names, but she was like, "That's Joseph and Connor," and I said, yes. Wait, they have an appointment. She's like, well, I haven't even pulled that up yet. Y'all were here last year. And I said, yes, and I remember you, but how do you remember my 2? And I said, because they cried all the time. And she said, well, yes, but they cried, and they were so sweet and so cute. We were hoping they would stay, and they just like weren't having it. And she was like, I can't believe how big they got. Like, they knew who the kids were, and like our babies. And so that was amazing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just make you feel like, like I said, like part of the family, and you're just having such a good time. Like if you can do anything to help them, because it's not necessarily the easiest job that they have. So if you can do anything to return the favor, there's only so much, you can give them a good tip, or you can say thank you, or, you can write, you can, tell Disney that they're doing a great job to kind of, give them something. But like, we thought we'd go a little bit above and beyond and give them some, like some snacks, trying to, make them, feel like home in the little bit of downtime that they get, because they were doing such a great job with the kids.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. That is so incredible to hear those awesome stories. It really does. I've heard these stories a lot, just because of my business, but it's so refreshing to hear it firsthand again as a reinforcer from parents and from their own personal experiences with their own children. It makes me so happy. So let's switch gears a little bit, and why don't you just tell people who might be thinking, I think I want to use Magic Land Vacations, but I'm not really sure. Explain to them what the benefit was for you guys and what it did for you all.
I think so for Disney World, like I said, we took my brother and he has food allergies, and I'm sitting there going, yes, we're gonna put this on there, and like, but then we have to sort everything out. Plus we need to get fast passes, and I was like, I don't understand the system and it's complicated. And then I remember emailing and saying, I think we want to do this. And then you email back and we're like, well, I scheduled this and this, but I skipped this time because that's when the parade was. And I was like, oh, parades. Right. I forgot about those. Like, there's so many things that happen that, you know, like you thought of, hey, you know what? They're going to want to see that parade and the kids are going to want to see that. And you scheduled it around that. And then making sure that Nicholas's food allergies were listed. So when we did get to dining, man, they were amazing at who's got the food allergy. Luckily, he was old enough to speak up for himself, right? He was 12. And so they give him the menu. Well, it was great because they would walk him through the menu and say, okay, here's what you can and can't have. Here's what would be okay if you can tolerate, like, that it was made in the same place, and which was fine for him. And then they'd walk him through a buffet. And so one of us would usually go just to double check. But like, the fact that I didn't have to stress about making sure that was listed, making sure that whatever celebrations were there, and making sure that we didn't miss the parade because I scheduled a fast pass, or, hey, you know what? You sent me this list and guess what? You can't do this one and this one. I was so confused. There's so many details that it was nice to hand it off, get the itinerary from you, and then just go and do it. And we had a blast. We didn't have to think twice about what we needed to schedule or reschedule or do. And if we did end up having to reschedule, we would call and say, hey, Brandon, I don't know what's going on, but we've heard about this. Is there any way to, you know, fit this in? And if you could, you did. And if not, it was like, hey, it's busy, but no problem. You know, it was just really nice to have you to call to or message. And then also to not have to stress hours, because it would have taken us hours upon hours to schedule what you did for us. I mean, we had a week with 7 people, that 7 fast passes. Some weren't the same rides because some people don't do rides, and we have the toddlers. You did an amazing job taking that off of us, because there's no way I would have done it without like hurting someone.
Yeah, especially because they changed the experience so much that like every time you go, it's almost, you have to relearn everything because they just, you know, things just change and improve so much at Disney World. So it was really great that we knew what we wanted to do, but we didn't necessarily know how to do it anymore because it changed so much.
Yeah.
So it was just nice to, you know, be able to sit down and, you know, send you an email or, you know, have a FaceTime and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, or this is what we wanted to do. This is what we like. And you know, walked us through the process and explained it to us, and, you know, just made it like a seamless process instead of, like she said, stressing out about trying to figure things out. And if there's changes and if things don't work, then you have to check, you know, this one ride doesn't work and you have everything else planned and you want to get that, then you have to change that, and then that changes this. And it was just, it was a lot.
I don't know how you do it and stay sane, because legitimately looking at it, I was like, I can't even fathom organizing this, because when I even just started looking at it, and I was like, no, I'm just going to hand it all over. I thought about trying to help and be like, well, I can schedule this. And I started looking and I was like, nope, Brandon can do it, because he is way more organized than I am, because I got nothing on this. And it was amazing. I mean, it turned out so good. I mean, like, even my brother the other day thought, he was like, I feel like we were just at Disney. And I was like, well, Nicholas, it was 1.5 years ago. He's like, it was such a cool trip. And it was his first time ever being in any Disney anything. So not only did you give those of us who had been an amazing trip, you gave this kid who's never touched, like, set foot in Disney anything, the best first trip ever. And he literally was just, I don't know, talked about it forever.
They even make it hard now to book, like, the initial vacation, just picking the hotel and the package. Like, it used to be easy where it would just automatically tell you this was the best deal for you based on what you want to do. But now you have to go and you have to try, like, each individual package. And it's just easier to say, I want to go here around this time.
Can you fix it for me?
What's the best thing? And it just made it easy, because I remember when we first started going, we'd have like a spreadsheet of all the days and everything planned out, and it was a little simpler then, so it was easier to do. But now, since they've, you know, changed the fast pass system and they added more dining and they've added more shows, it's just too much if you're not like used to looking at the schedule to know how to make it all work, and with the systems changing all the time. So it was very nice to just actually make it feel like a vacation, and we weren't stressing out about, oh, we need to run here, or we need to do this. We made sure that when we were talking to you, and you made sure for us, that we built in those buffer zones so we could just enjoy the actual vacation, and it wasn't just feeling like we're running from here to there and doing this and that, and then we're getting back at the end of the day, even though you're tired because you get there when the park opens and you leave when the park closes, and you're tired. You don't feel like you just run around all day and like and thinking in the back of your mind, what did I do today? Because it was just going from one thing to the other. It was just, we made it, it just flowed and was easy, and you just did a great job of just making that work for us, and it was just relaxing.
The hardest part was herding 5 children to where you needed to go.
Yes.
And luckily we weren't running too often between things, because yes, that was fun.
Yeah, that part I don't do. I don't do the 5 herding of the children. I will do the fast passes, the dining. I will do the itinerary and the reservations. I do all that stuff, and I love doing that. And all the genies at Magic Land Vacations love doing that. But we don't herd our clients' kids. That's one thing that we draw the line on.
Maybe that's a service you could add on.
We'll think about that. We'll think about that. So let's switch gears to Disney Cruise. What was the addition that you thought was worthwhile for Disney Cruise using Magic Land Vacation?
I just so you have to book on opening day and or to get the best prices, or if you don't, trying to find connecting rooms and this and that. And we just kind of said, please take this and fix it, because there's no connecting rooms and there's no this or that. And then magically, somehow you managed to find this connecting rooms a couple of months later. I just remember thinking, how are we going to do this? I'm going to be in a room with 2 kids. He's going to be in a room with 2 kids. Somebody in his room is going to cry because mommy's not in that room. And I'm going to end up in a room with 4 kids. And then somehow we get this email that says, by the way, you have connecting rooms now. Here's your, and it was wait, how did you make that work?
Yeah, and we went from the second seating for dinner to the first seating, which we needed because the 8 o'clock or 8:30 seating for dinner with 4 kids it can be kind of challenging. And so it just made it work. We, like we said, we gave you, this is the cruise we can go on, or these are the couple that work for us. And you found us the best deal and the best, the best everything that worked. And then you explained, okay, these are the excursions, and this is what you need to do if you want us to book them. We can do that. And, you reminded us, we need to make sure we pay, and, you just took care of everything. So it's we just gave you the parameters and you just made it work.
And
so
I think
it was very nice.
What was nice too was I did come to you a couple of times with questions about excursions. And if you didn't have the answer or hadn't heard about it, you were so good about saying, let me see what I can find out. And if that is something you want to do with kids or not, and coming back and saying, okay, well, mixed reviews, or I found this out and it's a really cool thing to do, or whatever. And that was really nice to know. And we didn't do a lot of Disney excursions because, again, we still weren't sure with the little boys, are we going to book this and then that morning go really poorly? Our one big one almost went really poorly because it was an early morning departure, and then we did the zoo and it was actually closed. So what hadn't been told was the zoo, 3/4 of it was actually still closed and not open. So there was no food open, there was no anything. You literally just walked through and saw animals if they were out. And I think we emailed you, and then Felix, I think you were you need to go tell the desk excursions people what happened. Absolutely. So we did, and we talked to them and got it sorted. But just knowing that we could message you even on the cruise and say, hey, I'm not really sure what's going on, and or do you know about this or that? It was really nice to know that we had someone to go to ask those questions and not have to just figure it out or search for reviews or whatever. It was nice to have somebody to kind of do that for us.
Absolutely. That's one thing that I love doing, and all the genies love doing, is advocating for our clients before the vacation and even during the vacation and post vacation too, because at the end of the day, we want you all to have the most magical vacation experience ever. So is there anything else that you'd want people to know? Your last takeaway?
So I have told a lot of people to get a Disney agent, and I've given them your name and info. And I was like, what, just use an agent. And I was like, look, it takes so much stress off of you, and you can go and just do your itinerary and do your vacation and enjoy it. And we, like I said, we talked about other cruise lines and looked at it. We have some friends that did other cruise lines, but they have one little boy and it was fine. And I said, but looking at it, I'm kind of spoiled now that we did the Disney cruise, because they just do, it's just amazing. And letting someone plan your vacation for you is way nicer than having to do it yourself. We travel a lot being overseas, and it takes us months of planning and organizing just to go to, Disney Paris even, and trying to sort that out. And please, can you book that? Please.
We're working on
Disney Paris.
We're working on adding that to our roster. Yes, we are. We're working on adding that to our roster. So that is Tokyo Disney and Shanghai Disney.
Another thing that nice.
Yay.
I would say another thing that people might be hesitant about booking is like, how much is this going to cost and everything. And what they need to realize is that if you book through Disney, they have this already built into their pricing. So they're actually saving money by you booking directly through them. But if you're using an agent, Disney actually pays the agent a fee so that you can do the booking. So you're actually getting the service for free, and Disney's paying them to do it for you. So it's an even better deal because you're not having to stress and you're not having to pay for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you.
I have a child who would really like to give you a thought on Disney. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. I would love that.
All right, you can come. What is your favorite part about Disney Cruise and Disney World? Not Disney Paris. It's awesome.
Okay,
look
why?
at there, but why?
How do you like it?
Look at Brandon. No. What was your favorite, most memorable part about the Disney Cruise?
Everything. The people.
The people. Okay, there's another child in the corner. Okay.
Hello, I'm a child.
Okay, Scooch.
Yeah, Logan just goes around for the snacks. So he has one of those shirts that just says, "I'm here for the snacks."
He really
So
is.
any food booth that we pass, no matter what kind of park we're at or the cruise ship, like we have to stop and get Logan a snack. He tries all of the snacks. And so all of our snack credits go away at Disney World. We end up buying more stuff because, they eat so much. And, on the cruise, it's nice because it's already built in. So we're feeling like we're getting our money's worth if he just eats till he gets sick because, you've already paid for it. So you want to go up to, Deck 9 and, have, 5 gallons of soft serve ice cream and a chili cheese dog at 9 o'clock at night. Knock yourself out because we've already paid for it, And so like he's really just there for the snacks. And so he doesn't necessarily like all of the rides, but he likes the shows. He likes the food. He likes the experience.
Yeah.
He likes the thought that goes behind him. They actually just did one of those Imagineering courses from Khan Academy. And so they did the Imagineering in a box.
Yeah.
And so they went through and actually designed their own like land and like all the, everything behind it and everything. And they spent like, it was supposed to take them like 6 hours. I think it took them like 2 weeks. They got into so much detail. And so they really like the thought that goes behind everything. And they've been watching the, Disney Plus with like the Imagineering and like the behind the scenes stuff. And they actually like all the thought and the detail that goes into everything. And so he gets a kick out of that. Whereas Claire likes that stuff, but she likes the rides and the shows and like just the entertainment value.
Yeah.
And the boys, the little boys, just like it's just like a big party. Everyone says hi. If you have your badge that says, "I'm here for my birthday," or "It's my first trip," in your name, like magically just people know your names and they wave at you and they're always smiling. And, if you're on the cruise ship, since it's, the magic that we've been on is a smaller ship, you see the same people throughout the week. So they get to know you and they recognize you and, they say hi. And so the little boys, enjoy that, that people know who they are. And it's just, very family oriented and they just have a great time.
And we're really off subject now. Sorry.
Yes.
No, that was great. You guys did such a good job. I know that there's a bunch of families out there especially some of the bigger families who are going to be so excited to hear your story, hear your insight, and hear about the memories that you guys created, because they want to hear from families, right? They want to hear from people like you. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to share insight and your knowledge, and the Disney geeking out with you is so much fun. So thank you guys for doing that today. Again, this is Felix and Chrissy. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
thank you for having us.
Absolutely.